Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're inside my 2012 Honda Civic EX, and in this video I'm going to answer the question if this is a good used car to buy or if you should go for something else. So let's start off with turning the car on, and then we'll go for a walkthrough of the outside. You do have a normal ignition with a key and turning mechanism rather than a push to start button, so that's an old school touch of this car, which is now an old school touch when every car has the push to start. The interior is really awesome. As you can see, the car does have Bluetooth, and it's very nice on the interior because if you take a look at it, like this center console is sort of faced towards the driver and you have this cockpit view of the car. I honestly love it. It's one of my favorite features, but anyway, we'll get to that later. Let's go for a little walkthrough and then we will take it out for a drive. So I am currently on my winter setup, which is a 205/65 R15. It's a little bit rusted, but it gets the job done. These are Michelin X-ICE, and since where I live we get a lot of snow, it's important to have some good snow tires on there, and these are really nice. So let's get to the under the hood here. We have a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder Honda engine. This is like the most reliable bulletproof thing on the market you can buy, so in terms of maintenance you don't have to worry about too much. This is what it looks like from the front. From this angle here, passenger front. We'll go sit inside and test out the seats. So it is a 4-door. This does come in a 2-door option as well, but what we're testing today is the 4-door. I mean, I'm 6 foot, very comfortable in the passenger seat. You have a lot of stuff you can fit in the glove compartment. I have a gajillion things in there. Same with the armrest here. Lots of gum and bills and random things I collected over the time. One of the cool things is there is a USB port in the back, so you can connect your phone and charge it up. Now, when I had an older phone, so I believe the 6S at the time, this thing charged it beautifully. Now I have a newer phone, which is one of the Pro Maxes, the iPhone Pro Max. It does charge it very slow, so I think that has something to do with just the technology in the car. So if you do have a newer phone, it's not going to charge as fast as if you have an older phone. So that's one thing to keep in note. We do have this car in an automatic transmission here, and honestly it's one of the best 5-speed electronically controlled transmissions on the market. It's been nothing but wonderful for me, so that is something awesome. You have 2 cup holders right here, a cup holder plus some storage space on each door, so all 4 doors have them. So it does have mirrors in your sun visor, and they are not lit up, so that's one thing to note if that's something you're looking for. But the visors do move, as you can see. They do not move, they do not extend, but they do swivel to help you block out the sun. Now this car is fitted with a sunroof, and that was an option in the EX and EXL only at the time, so that's something to note as well. We'll take a look at after. Let's go take a little seat in the back here. So I do have this chair all the way pushed back to where I would have it in the front, and I'm 6 feet sitting in the back and my knees are touching. However, I'm not uncomfortable, so that's something to note. I could spend a lot of time here, especially like, I mean, this is my normal seating position, so just being back here, you can fit, you know, 4 adults and maybe a 5th one. I've had 5 people in here. It's not the most comfortable, but 4 is a check mark. Everybody's comfortable. You can take it on a long road trip if you need. But other than that, we do have a center armrest in the back here, which was another feature of the EX at the time, and it comes with 2 different size cup holders, which is very comfortable for road trips and whatnot, and your rear passengers. On the right, we have our door card, which holds, again, a water bottle, a regular sized water bottle, not an Nalgene, and some extra storage space. So that's pretty much it from the back. Not anything crazy, but you do have pockets right here as well. I forgot to mention, but only on the passenger side, not on the driver's side. So as the car is on, I don't have the keys, and there's no button in the back to open the trunk, but this is what the car looks like pretty much from the passenger rear angle. The rear angle, it's very clean. There's no exhaust. The exhaust is actually on the right side, and it sort of twists down. Very cool, very nice little feature. Here's the driver rear. Again, you have your gas cap right there. So let me just show you the trunk, which is amazing in this car, which there's a button right there. So you do have enough space in here for pretty much anything and everything. I've honestly moved my whole life when I was in university in here, in like from, you know, Waterloo to Ottawa. So honestly, 10 out of 10 trunk space. I have nothing but good things to say. I can fit my golf clubs in here very comfortably, and one of the cool features, which I'll move my shoe here, one of the cool features is that it's an old school car, therefore you do have a spare tire, which is pretty cool. And you got your regular tools that come with the car. Currently I have a badminton racket in there for space reference, and my shoes. So as you can see, there's a bunch. I could probably lie down in there if I want. You also have the buttons in the back to fold the rear seats right here. This one came undone. I'm not sure where it went. Maybe it's just a matter of putting it there, but you have two for the 40-60 split in the front there. All right, that's enough chit chat from the outside. Let's go for a drive and see how it drives and talk about what my ownership's been like. Over 250,000 kilometers on this car. Alrighty, so I'm gonna take the car for a quick drive through the city and as well as the highway, but just to get the best of both worlds here. I'm very used to driving this car, so I'm gonna try to drive it with two hands, but you get the hang of driving it with one hand when you've, you know, driven so many kilometers on it. The car does have intermittent wipers, so it does have various options here for the wiper speed to move depending on how much rain there is. So as you can see right here, this is your toggle for it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 settings. So I'm gonna leave it at the bottom because there's not that much rain out there. In terms of reliability of this car, it's been nothing but a dream to own. Honestly, the most we've done on the car, we've owned it since 2012. We bought it brand new, and the most we've done on the car is your regular maintenance. So you have your oil changes, which we do, or I do rather, every time I hit the number up there, which I believe is every 7,000 or 8,000 kilometers. I do fill it up with, or I do change the oil with synthetic oil only, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons that's made the car last so long. But other than that, you have your brakes, you have your tires, and that's pretty much all this car has needed up until now. I did have an issue, like the larger ticket items I can share as well. Those were pretty much the front AC condenser. So what ended up happening is I did a lot of, or this car did a lot of highway kilometers, and eventually over time, since it is in the front, a lot of rock ended up hitting it, and then it punctured like a tiny hole, and then when there's a million tiny holes, it ends up not working, and it started leaking the air conditioning freon, or like air conditioning fluid. So that's one of the things that we had to swap out. That was pretty expensive, I believe. But by pretty expensive, since it is a Honda product, I mean it was less than $300, I want to say. So the car is fogging up here because we are in the middle of winter and it should be snowing, but worry not, the car is really quick at defogging the whole stuff, so we'll just let it work its magic and hop on the highway here. As you can see, we're on a decline and the car does reach cruising speed very quickly. But again, it's a breeze on the highway. When you are driving this car, it feels very comfortable. I've done a lot of long road trips in the car, and probably the longest being somewhere around 12 hours, going from where I live here all the way down to the Midwest in the United States, and that was honestly a breeze as well. So the car is really perfect for gas mileage, long drives, literally anything you throw at it, it can take it. And again, nothing but good things to say about this car. In terms of fuel economy, I can show you that here. So if you are from Canada, you're familiar with, you know, liters to the 100 kilometers. So this one is right now on my current tank is giving 7.9 liters to the 100 kilometers. And if I was to just change that to miles, which you can do with the button right there. So now we're in, you know, 60 miles per hour. It's about 29.8 miles to the gallon. Again, amazing gas mileage. Since it's such a small engine, it doesn't require a lot, and the way it's tuned, it's amazing. Now, another thing to note about this car is that it does have heated mirrors, and that's one of the key features to, if you live in Canada, you know that a lot of ice starts building up there. So you know, it's a nice little luxury touch at the time that they added in this car. What is this gentleman doing in front of us? Okay, he wants to take a left. Alrighty. But there's your gas computer right there. Some other things the menu has includes your clock, which is typically what I keep it on because I think it looks very nice and classy. And other than that, you have your Bluetooth option. And when I mentioned you could connect your phone to this car, you can very easily just have the music playing and have that showcase right here. So when it comes to taking corners in this car, honestly, there is body roll because it's not a sports car by any means, but it's a very fun, dynamic car to drive. And like, honestly, in an economy car, taking that at about, you know, 45, 50 kilometers an hour, it's nothing to it. You do hear the engine wake up in the higher RPMs. So we'll just turn on our wipers to a higher speed so it clears up faster. But as you can see, like, you can have fun with the car, but it's no sports car. Other than that, I was talking about the comfortability of the car. Again, these seats are very comfortable and ergonomic. Like, Honda has gotten their stuff together when it comes to, you know, fixing up their seats and making sure that you have comfortable seats in a car. As you can see, the car on the highway is very quiet and the wipers are amazing. In terms of passing power, there is enough passing power in this car, but it's just a little too busy for me to showcase that. But you can kind of get a hang of it when I was coming onto the highway. So in terms of the interior, like I mentioned earlier, this whole center console is sort of tilted towards the driver, and I think it really adds to the cockpit experience of the car and just how everything is very driver oriented. It makes it feel like you're in a cooler car, and the fact that they were able to make it happen in 2012 with this double tier dash and, you know, everything, like 3 screens, like, this was honestly at the time one of the coolest things. But that's something I really like about this car. The AC kicks really well, and just overall good things to say. Oh, another feature I'm going to show you guys is the economy button right here. So when you turn the economy button on, it saves you a lot of gas and you get way better mileage on the car. And I'm not too sure what it does, but from my experience of having that button turned on, it does limit the amount of throttle input. So comparatively, if I was to put in, you know, like 50% on the throttle, it would speed up really fast. But with the economy button on, if I do the same 50% throttle, it only speeds up to on a slower pace, so the RPMs don't jump as quick, and the computer somehow tells the car that, hey, we're in economy mode. And it is really perfect for long distance driving, because I've driven this car. One of the best gas mileages I ever got was driving from Waterloo, Ontario all the way to Ottawa on one tank of gas, and that was almost around 500 kilometers. So again, very reliable car, very fuel efficient, and in terms of like movability and space of the interior, it's the perfect car to purchase. So we're just gonna get off the highway here just so I can showcase how it is in the city as well. I typically keep that economy button off in the city because you don't always have the most amount of power, so that's just something to keep in mind. But let's take this little fun road here. I live in the city, so we don't have a lot of twisties, but this car is not known for the twisties, but I still like to have fun with it. Nice little Bentley Continental right there. But this is typically where I end my videos, but I'm just gonna show you guys the one thing this car is missing is a reverse camera. But I do have it wired, and at one point when my mom drove this car, we wired up a new system, and then we had the rear view camera right there, so that really got rid of that sort of issue. And then the other thing this car doesn't have is, of course, you don't see any Apple CarPlay or any sort of maps. The EXL did come with a navigation option, which was really cool in this car, but what I did was I bought a $10 phone holder, and that gets my job done for when I need any sort of navigation. Other than that, another luxury we added into this car was a remote starter. So that cost about $300. Well, I should probably add the prices as well. So anyway, the remote starter was $300, and we got it installed probably back in 2013, and it's been kicking ever since the car didn't come with that. And the second thing, that is $10. And then the third thing, which was the rear backup camera, that we got on Boxing Day for sale at Canadian Tire, and I believe it was somewhere around $80 or so. So fairly inexpensive upgrades, but it made the drivability of the car and just the ownership of the car a lot easier and better. The only reason I don't have the reverse camera on is because I don't prefer it. So whenever I get in a new car and I see there is a reverse camera, I find it very odd to get used to, because again, I'm used to no rear view camera. But it was helpful for my mom when she drove this thing. Alright, so just pretty much going over those train tracks there. It's nothing for this car, especially with these winter tires on. Very comfortable. Don't really feel any sort of ways in this car, but just for your regular day-to-day drive, if you turn on the economy mode, I'll show you how much slower the car goes off the line. But again, the purpose of it is to save you gas. So got a green light. I mean, again, take this with a grain of salt because we are on a downwards incline, but as you can see, that guy is smoking me. But hey, at least going slower equals less visits to the gas station, which equals less money out of your pocket. So if you like it, you can leave it on at all times. I typically leave it on when I'm on the highway, because that way I can maximize my gas mileage. But you know, fun little feature that Honda added to all their cars. Another thing about it when it comes to fuel is it's a 40-liter gas tank, and I'm not sure what that equates to in gallons, but it fills up for what gas is $1.38 today, so it fills up anywhere between $55 to $60. So very gas efficient, or very, like, you know, efficient when it comes to the gas bill. So I am going to wrap up the video here, and to answer the question of if this is a good used car to buy, the answer is 100% yes. If you're buying this car as your first car, you're buying it, you're new to the country, you're buying it for your kids who go to college, I think this is the perfect car for them to learn on, because it does forgive you in a lot of ways, where if you miss getting the oil changed on the recommended time, the car's bulletproof. It's gonna just continue driving. And I've seen that in a lot of my friends' cars who own a Honda Civic. So you can pretty much buy this car not sight unseen and just be happy with it. And the prices of them have come down significantly, making them the perfect first car to buy. Learn how to work on stuff yourself if that's something you're interested in, or just have cheap aftermarket parts to do maintenance and whatnot. So overall, the drivability, the fun factor, the maintenance, reliability, and everything about the car is just perfect, and you cannot go wrong purchasing this as a used car. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys with some more cars on the channel soon, and stay tuned for all the new updates. If you guys like the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. I don't know what it does, but I think it helps the channel, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and even better year. Cheers.